approval. What is something that you guys like about this tool, right? If you could say three things about the tool that you guys like a lot, what is that? Three things that you would,
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, just the actual solution itself, right? The fact that we are, taking a more modern approach, I guess you'd call it, in this part of our operations, uploading, instantly seeing it on your desktop. It's really seamless for our operations leaders out there to really see where the gaps are in our processes. So it's an instant identifier. Of course, there's that pretty common phrase, a picture tells 1,000 words. So it's easier for us to really understand where our efforts need to focus on, whether that's in that day, that week. It's just, so far it's been solid from that end.
Okay. And where do you guys see the most savings, right? Is it, we have customers that have seen all different kinds of savings. One is, the overall, the number of claims that they got reduced, right? That's happened. And then also the time that they spend on researching, things as a team, sometimes multiple.
Sure.
Also like that, where do you guys see the big benefit, in terms of LoadProof?
So we haven't necessarily seen it from that specific perspective where your customers may have, and that has a lot to do more on our end and really our process. So we're essentially the solution is sort of isolated right now in logistics, but we do plan on expanding it and showing it to other parts of our businesses. We just wanted to increase our site adoption rate to multiple sites so that we can have a standardized process across our network. We do have a pretty wide network, so it's essentially a ramp up plan once we get enough sites on board, and then we could start to pull in customer service, start to pull in marketing teams, sales teams, just to show them that, hey, these are the quality loads that are coming out of our sites, and if there are any issues, then you could let us know. I think for us, the most benefit that we have seen though is just from a process stability perspective. Again, we're more we're really focused on sort of identifying the gaps. That's what my team does. And so the images really tell us the story of, where those gaps exist in our process. So if you have, 20 to 30 pictures for that shipment, you could essentially monitor every single pallet that goes into your trailer if processes are executed correctly. So it does allow us to really close those gaps fast if we're able to hunt it down.
So is it fair to say that, now people are, is it let's say there is a, origin facility that's shipping product to let's say a destination facility, right? A destination facility customer, or it could be a, internal Kohler, site. So are you guys seeing that, hey, because now we have pictures to go back and see it, the quality of the, work or the packaging or the shrink wrapping that's being done at the origin facility is much better. And also at the destination facility, they're able to log in and look at all this and they're trusting this thing more. Is that what it is?
Yeah, essentially that's our ultimate goal, is to have everybody, looking and policing each other on quality. Our operation is pretty friendly, and we have a pretty good relationship with our operators. So they do understand that it's not necessarily that we're watching them or monitoring every single move they make, but hey, we do have an audit process in place where we can take any different sample audits out there and use that as a training tool or a process improvement tool to really stabilize those processes, as mentioned earlier.
Okay, great. Okay, so it's a great audit tool that if some problem happens, they're able to go back and look at these pictures and they're able to basically evaluate and say, hey, now we got these pictures. Where did we drop the ball? They know clearly.
Yep. Correct.
Oh, okay, that's great. And how did that improve your customer service, or how is the, let's say, the recipient or the destination DC are they seeing any difference in terms of, hey, now the quality is better, the packing is better, the pallets are stacked nicely, or the, boxes are stacked nicely, the pallets have been loaded nicely on the trailer and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, overall, we have definitely improved. There's still some more hashing out of that process, as mentioned earlier. Customer service, really monitors the claims from their perspective, and they have their own sets of processes. But overall, our numbers are doing better year over year. Of course, we've got some challenges recently here with the coronavirus and COVID, and we did have, as any other company had to adjust our outbound and inbound operations, with newer associates that may have not have loaded before. So at least I won't necessarily say it's improved just because of the tool, but I could say it has definitely helped us with the training part of it too. So I'll probably lean more on that latter comment there. With LoadProof, we could easily train an operator who's it's maybe their first or second week on the job and say, hey, here's some quality loads. If you want to identify what's a good load or what's a bad load, then we quickly get into the LoadProof site and show them some real life examples of how a trailer should be loaded with our product in it.
Okay, great. Okay, that's fantastic. So you mentioned that the numbers have improved a little bit, right? What are those numbers? Are those chargeback numbers? Are those claim numbers? Are those freight claims dollars? What are the numbers?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately they are claim numbers. So it's our claim. We measure claims. I'm not sure how different they are from other competitors in our market or other players in our industry in logistics, but our claims are essentially measured through accuracy as well as quality of loads, meaning damages. So yeah, we've seen improvements in the accuracy pieces of it. We do load a lot of full pallets. So I mean, overall, yeah, we've seen improvements. I can't think of the top of my head what those specific improvements are metrics wise, but we have seen a downtick overall.
Okay, so basically this is, you guys ship a trailer and then something happened, get damaged, and then you're submitting a freight claim to the carrier. Now you're able to accurately provide information so the freight claims get processed. I mean, obviously, every time a freight claim is created, right, the carrier is involved, there may be somebody else that is involved, and then if you're underwriting insurance, the insurance company is involved. So now we are able to provide whatever information that's needed in a more accurate fashion. Is that what it is?
The transportation piece of it, yes, that would be our ultimate standard process. Again, we haven't pulled in the transportation departments yet, just because we're still trying to increase our site adoption. And then for the current ones, we haven't rolled that out yet. So hard to really say that that's the main reason. Again, I think most of the process stability and process improvements are really more on the in-house side from a training perspective, and not necessarily claims where someone's pulling up the LoadProof site where they could look at, hey, we loaded it this way. It's not necessarily on the site's fault or the carrier's fault. So we're not there yet, but that is the ultimate plan